What's going on? It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with the Boxing Clinic. And, we keeping it moving. We back, grinding. We, talk about Dmitry Bivol. Eddie Hearn said he might be the best at 175 pounds. And I hear a lot of other fans saying the same thing. Don't believe the hype, Can't believe that hype. It's hype. This dude got, 12 fights, 11 knockouts or something of that nature. He beat Trenton Brodenhurst, who knew he was. It's the same thing I keep telling y'all. It's back to basics, back to fundamentals. We're talking about who's the best in boxing and, where you rate them and where you're grading them at. And who has he beat? He beat Cedric Agnew. I mean, he's not a world beater. You know what I'm saying? The true barometer for him is when he, if he finally faces Sullivan Barrera. And from what I'm understanding is that Dmitry Bivol will be fighting Eldar Alvarez, the guy who beat John Pascal, I believe, on Adonis Stevenson, Fanfara undercard. That's part of his step-aside deal to let Badou Jack and Adonis Stevenson fight in January. So I don't know how true that is, but I'm starting to hear more and more people starting to report it. And shout out to Boxing Kingdom on Twitter for reporting it, and shout out to Trap House Boxing and JB for putting me up on game. But let's keep it real though, man. It's about who you beat, man. And he ain't beat anybody of note yet, man. You can't say this guy's the best at a division if he hadn't fought the elite in the division yet. Has he been cut? Has he been 12 rounds? Has he been 10 rounds? Has he been a tough 10 or 12 rounds? Has he had a cut over his eye? Like, people was a foregone conclusion that people thought Lipinets was the best fighter at 140 pounds. And that proved to be a false statement. That proved to be a false statement last night. Kondo gave him all he wants, and that's a virtual unknown that gave him a run for his money. So you have to go through these trials and tribulations as a fighter, and you have to step up in competition and know if you're really, really good. He's not the best at 175 pounds. He's not in the same class as Badou Jack. People say Badou Jack, tripped. He dropped his belt. He ducked him. Okay, I mean, it was something in a contract clause in the contract where he had to drop it. And then he would have came back after fighting, August, 26th, and had to come back in November by a certain date in November, I think, which was yesterday, and fight Dmitry Bivol. So he ducked Dmitry Bivol, okay, to go fight the king at 175 pounds at Adonis Stevenson, and that's who he's supposed to be fighting next. So you ducked the peasant to fight a king. Shout out to Deontay Wilder for that line last night. Absolutely not. He's going to fight the king of the division. Why play with somebody, who ain't even a real champion? You ain't going to get credit for beating because he ain't did nothing in his career. So, Eddie Hearn, playing that seed in people's head, and people starting to believe it, and y'all buying the hype over again. It's hype, it's hype, it's hype. I've been pumping up Dmitry Bivol. I said he's better than Anthony Yarde right now. He's more polished, obviously, if you've seen him fight. Gusic, I think he's better than Daniel Gusic. I think he's better than him. Better than Marcus Brown, but is he in the same breath as a Kovalev? Is he the same breath as a Barrera? Same breath as Adonis Stevenson or Badou Jack? Absolutely not. He's probably a class or two beneath them, and he's gonna have to fight the elite and stop fighting the Trenton Brodenhurst and Cedric Agnews of the world. If you really want to be on the fast track to a world championship fight, well, if Kovalev win in November versus Vansky, fight Kovalev next, and you start to make some noise. You can't be the best at a division if you never fought the elite at the division, so stop it. People are always having that knee-jerk reaction and not looking at the opponent at hand. Dude had already been knocked out and hadn't fought anybody in his career, That's like, that's like saying, it's like saying Floyd Mayweather is the best because he beat Conor McGregor. He's the greatest. He's not the greatest because he beat Conor McGregor. Absolutely not. And that's basically what y'all saying about Dmitry Bivol. It's not the best, He's not even top 5 at light heavyweight, in my opinion. Just off of what he's done resume. Talent-wise, I don't think he's top 5 either. Stevenson, Badou Jack, I'm not going to order. Kovalev, Sullivan Barrera. I mean, you can go on and on, So, we'll see. You got Shavansky, you got Marcus Brown, Usyk. I mean, you got a lot of different guys that's in that mix that's nasty, and that's coming up. Eldar Alvarez. So, we'll see, man. Time will tell, but the best Eddie Hearn, you tripping, bruh.